This is KGW News at noon.
And thanks for joining us today. I'm Brenda Braxton. If you have an Oregon driver's license or ID card, your information may have been stolen in a global data breach. Some 3.5 million Oregonians could be affected. The Oregon Department of Transportation says the hack happened sometime at the end of May, but officials just found out about it Monday. ODOT says it waited until yesterday to publicly acknowledge what happened because it didn't realize how serious the hack was. Then officials focused on getting employees up to speed to help answer questions from the public.
We have been very carefully and thoughtfully considering how to best address what we believed would be a number of inbound requests.
ODOT isn't saying yet exactly what information was compromised, but according to U.S. officials, the culprit is a Russian ransomware group. If you have an Oregon license, keep a very close eye on your credit reports. We've posted links to help you get a free copy of your credit report and, if necessary, how to freeze your credit. You'll find it all on KGW.com. Now to Salem, where Republican senators returned to work this morning for the second day in a row after a 6-week walkout, the longest in state history. Here's some of the highlights from the deal that finally got them to come back. First, abortions for minors 15 and under without parental consent. That can still happen, but only in certain circumstances, including if a doctor believes telling the parents would put the patient at risk of abuse. The other big compromise involves gun safety. The deal kept a ban on ghost guns, but ditched a provision raising the age to buy semi-automatic rifles from 18 to 21. Those bills now head back to the House for a vote before going on to the governor's desk. And we just confirmed today the senators who walked out will not face fines, but they can't run for re-election following their current term. Voters passed that restriction last November, and it's expected to be challenged in court. Crews near the Dalles were busy with another fire near I-84 this morning. This is happening around milepost 92, which is 5 miles east of the bigger milepost 87 fire that we've been following. This latest blaze is 3 to 4 acres in size, but is already 60% contained. The sheriff's office says the leading edge of this fire has been knocked down and it's in the mop-up stage. Well, crews are making progress on that fire at milepost 87. As of yesterday afternoon, it's 40% contained. All evacuations have been downgraded. That means go now evacuations have dropped to get ready to go, and that includes the Oregon Veterans Home. The milepost 87 fire has destroyed 3 houses, including one owned by Dave Dixon. He said he was talking to a neighbor in his RV park when flames suddenly leapt over the ridge. He was able to save his 15-year-old dog, who's blind and deaf, but he tells us he lost everything else.
I'm wearing what I got on right now. That's all I got. Before I made it around the corner, the whole thing was on fire. I mean, engulfed in flames. If I would have been sleeping, I would have been dead.
Dixon is an Army veteran and gets a minimal income from the VA. He says right now he only has $20 to his name. We have a link to his GoFundMe in our story on KGW.com. There are a couple other fires in eastern Oregon's Umatilla County. The Hat Rock fire is now 70% contained. It's burned more than 16,000 acres. As of this morning, evacuation levels haven't changed. Residents are being told to be ready and be set in case they have to leave. You can look for more information later this afternoon when there could be an update. In the meantime, the Mount Hebron fire is now 100% contained, and a Multnomah County task force that had been helping out is now heading home. Well, the first phase of Multnomah County's burn ban began today. Backyard burning is now restricted. Then, on June 30th, a ban on agricultural burning and permitted open burning will take effect. A total burn ban starts July 6th, and that does include campfires and fire pits. Do keep in mind, though, these dates may still change depending on the weather conditions. Hey, speaking of which, Chris, you're tracking some big changes this weekend.
Yeah, and rain is in our weekend forecast, right? Great news for the western part of the state. Unfortunately for areas in the gorge and points east, I think the rain that's coming in this weekend's probably not going to make much of a difference on that side of the state. This is not one of those big systems that's going to produce widespread soaking rain along and east of the Cascades, right? So I just kind of give you the early heads up on that we are definitely heading into some dry times. That said, yes, we do have cooler weather and potentially wetter weather in the weekend forecast. Starting with tomorrow, let's get right into it. We've got cloud cover and maybe some AM drizzle tomorrow. We'll probably see a few sun breaks, but it'll be noticeably cooler on Saturday with highs only getting into the upper 60s. And then another potent weather system dives across the region on Sunday, and that will bring widespread rain for areas along and west of the Cascades. Maybe a 2/10 of an inch of rain with the initial frontal passage, and highs will struggle to get to 60. Snow levels in the Cascades may be as low as 4,500 feet. How about that? All right, that's tomorrow and Sunday. As far as now is concerned, this afternoon is actually really nice. We've got some high thin cloud cover moving in. That's ahead of our next weather maker, and you can see some of that marine cloud deck offshore from Newport. That's pretty cool to watch. Wells Fargo sky camera showing those high clouds moving in at 73 last check at PDX, 74 now in Hillsborough and McMinnville. In the big picture across the state, the Dow's already up to 80 degrees on your way to highs in the mid 80s today. Here in Portland, I think we get to about 77. The clouds will probably thicken up just enough such that the temperatures may drop a degree or two by late in the afternoon, but still a pleasant finish to our work week with temperatures in the upper 70s. Sunset tonight, by the way, Brenda, 9:02.
Ooh, yeah. Thank you so much, Chris. Well, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has launched an investigation into the merger between the PGA Tour and Live Golf. The two leagues announced the deal earlier this month. The new for-profit company doesn't have a name yet. Live Golf is backed by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, which is controlled by the country's crown prince. Wyden wants clarification on the deal and the PGA's status as a nonprofit. He also wants to introduce legislation revoking a special tax exemption for the Saudi fund. In other headlines this noon, the state of Oregon and Multnomah County have come up with money to hire homeless people to clean up trash and graffiti. This is actually an expansion of the Clean Start program run by Central City Concern. This week, Governor Kotek pledged an extra $1 million, and Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson says the county plans to give $1.5 million more. Tonight, lane closures on Interstate 205. ODOT will close one lane between Government Island and the Gateway Transit Center to install new highway signs. The work will start at 9 p.m. and it ends tomorrow morning at 5. The closure will happen every night through June 24th.